That's right. Strike!
I'm a fan of it. I showed it in my own theater a long time ago. Walked out just before the ending, and they rushed me back in, and I got to see the good surprise ending.
Okay, but do you like the sequels?
No.
Or you only support the
Only the first one was the best.
Okay.
By far, absolutely.
I want to know what it was like to work with Sean Cunningham, because I heard he's quite the character. And I actually have a quote from someone else I interviewed. He's the screenwriter for Jason X. Jason 10 goes into outer space, Top Farmer. So I'm going to read to you what he says. Sean is the first guy that gave me a chance. He's an interesting character. He puts his arm around your shoulder and walks you through things and shows you how the business works. And what he is really fond of is showing you the tricks, and then a week later he will screw you using the same techniques. Now, do you think that's an accurate description of him, or do you have a different experience?
I have a really different experience, because the Sean I started with was the Sean who was basically starting. He had done Last House on the Left with Wes Craven before. But he and I were not what you would call raving successes at the time that I knew him. And then Hollywood happened, and it's not a new story. It's as old as Hollywood is. You know, I was working on what was it? Oh, Spring Break, and I did a number of drafts for Spring Break for him, and then I got a phone call that said that he was firing me off the project. Oh, in between, I had also done A Stranger Is Watching with him, and that was redoing a script somebody else had done.
So he gave you the call? He called you directly, or someone else called?
He called me and said, I'm not going to go ahead with that one. And that was it. I don't know why. I saw the Spring Break that he ultimately produced. I was not bowled over, so I don't know. And that was it. End of everything. We are now being attacked by the total fear zone. Here they are, the world's worst human beings. All of them. You worried about Jason. You should worry about these people. These.
Come on, let's go.
You see me roll on my Segway. I know in my heart they think I'm white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy.
Just turn that nicely. The only point is if you do it too quickly, you will sort of thrash yourself around.
Your movie's one of the horror films that kind of set the standard that if you have sex or you do drugs, you're a bad person, you deserve to die. And that's kind of what happens in pretty much all slasher films. You can easily point out this person's going to die because they're doing bad things and they're stupid and they're not paying attention.
Horror films are very Victorian. I mean, that's if you look at Dracula or read Dracula, you know that his teeth on her neck are not about blood. I mean, it's totally sexual, and sex seems to be a way to die, and in the Victorian horror films, and all I was doing was continuing the favor. I don't happen to believe it. I mean, you know, no, God no. Oh Lord, if that were true, you would be talking to a ghost right now.
Can you look into the camera and say that you think sex is good?
I think sex is fabulous, and I think illicit sex is even more fun. But no, I don't think you should get killed for illicit sex.
What was the great quote you gave that riding a Segway is
the most incredible machine you will ever ride, is the most fun you'll have outside of the bedroom in your entire life.
Okay, now I'm going to do something fun here.
Oh, good.
Okay, now... Now, I have to cover news on new stuff that's coming out, and of course, I've written some news about the remake.
Right.
Well, I happened to get a hold of the cast breakdown, because they're hiring the actors now, and I was going to post it as kind of just news, here it is, take a look, but I thought, you know what, that's pretty boring. So I posted it, but I put my suggestions for people in Hollywood that should play each of those characters. And obviously I wrote it as a joke, because if you see who I pick, it's not meant to be taken seriously. And then I put cameos at the end. So I actually printed a copy for you so you can see it if you want to get a kick out of what they're doing. And this picture my editor actually made of Jason.
That's lovely. That's a very mature Jason.
Yeah.
Looks like Orson Welles. You know, I'd have to know who Hayden Panettiere is. See, you got a problem here because Kevin Federline. Yes, I think this is probably best done on the Kane West. Yes, without a muzzle.
You know who Kane West is?
Yes,
he's the
vaguely.
rapper.
Yes, vaguely. Yeah, you got the 67-year-old guy. I mean, that's why I can't write a...
no, look at the cameos, though.
Oh, Mel Gibson as the Jew-hating camp counselor. How perfect. Britney Spears as the druggie doing lines of coke in the woods. Dog the bounty hunter as the local town sheriff with a penchant for racist phone calls. Kate Hudson is the slut who makes out with Dax Shepard and then every other guy in the cast. Amy Winehouse is the town drunk that sings karaoke but can't remember the lines. Kane West in his third role as the jive-talking janitor who says the government will not help the campers because George Bush hates black people. Tom Cruise as the crazy homeless man who mistakes Jason for an extraterrestrial dictator trying to control humans. Angela Jolie as the kind rich woman who adopts the surviving teens at the end. And don't forget Dick Cheney.
Oh, as the guy who shoots his friend in his face?
I would certainly think so. The guy who...
the hunter.
We're doing a horror movie, so let's use a tire iron. Now, you know, I did know Dick Cheney at Yale.
Oh, he's a wonderful man.
He is?
Is he?
No.
Is he your friend?
No, I knew him. Hey, I don't know what happened. I knew him. He was a very funny kid. A couple of years, 1 year or 2 years behind me.
Oh, you went to Yale?
Yeah, I went to Yale.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and he was in my dorm, and he was in my entryway, and I saw him in the hallway, and he was lived with all these sort of mooses who all got
Did
drunk
he smoke
and all the
pot?
time. I don't know if he smoked pot. I know he drank a lot.
So what happened?
He
Why
was
is
very
he so...
funny. He was very, you know, he'd wave, I'd wave, we'd say, hey, Dick, how are you? Hey, how are you? And he was a very funny guy. And then he became Darth Vader. I don't know what happened. It's just, that is a lot scarier than Mrs. Voorhees.